What's up? It's your boy Tarek Ali and welcome back to your boy's channel. How you doing? How you feeling? I'm feeling good. Today we're going to be talking about money, but not on the surface level, okay? We're not going to just be talking about dollars, coins, and putting money in your account. We're going to go a little deeper below the surface and we're going to talk about our relationship with money so that we can cultivate a new life with money in it. I know it's been a while that we talked about money on my channel. Like I was doing this whole financial series and then life happened, okay? Don't drag me, I know. But we're back and we're doing it again. And just like in the last videos when I was talking about finances, those videos were sponsored by Visible. This video is sponsored by Visible as well. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Visible because Visible has been supporting me as a creator for years. And they have been a huge help and a huge part of me doing this financial series. And the reason that I have talked about money so much on my channel and I want to talk about it more is because I think it's important that I share this information. You know, money has a lot of taboo around it. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, especially when they start to make more. People become quieter, they try to gatekeep, and I just feel like the more that I learn, the more I want to share, the more I want to share my experience. Not coming here to be right or wrong, but just coming here to start the conversation. So today I'm gonna be talking about what money meant to me growing up, how I was conditioned to look at money, how and why my view started to change about money, and the things that I did to come to this change and to get to a better place and to have a better relationship with money so that I can handle it, grow it, and maintain it way better than I did before. But even aside from Visible supporting me over the years, Visible has played a huge part in me learning how to use my money smarter. Like in my last video, I told you guys about, you know, me having to at some point pay my own phone bill, right? And Visible is a phone service that goes as low as $25, you heard me, $25 a month, okay, on Verizon's 5G LTE network. And that's unlimited texting, data, messaging, hotspot, all of that. You don't have to have long contracts. You can do it on the app. It's just really easy. And I think that this is the modern day. This is the way that you should get phone service. I think going to the store and all those contracts and having to have 8 people on your plan if one person misses out, it's just too complicated, and that's what I love about Visible. They make it simple, they make it easy. Just with everything going on, I think that it's always smart to find different ways to have good quality service but for a lower rate. So there's gonna be a link in the bio. If you click that, you can learn more about Visible and all of their perks, and yeah, we can get right into the video. Thank you again to Visible. I do plan to talk about finances and all of that on my podcast that launches this month. Okay, it's coming very soon, like within the next couple of weeks. But I just couldn't wait, okay? There's just more things that I want to talk about. Because it's such a sensitive topic, I want you to understand that this is different for everyone. Money is used differently for everyone, and everyone views money differently. There is no right or wrong here. Like I said, this is just an open space and a safe space. Okay, so I'm not drinking wine right now because I was feeling a little anxious today, and I kind of didn't want to mix those energies. I kind of want to just show up for myself and be, that makes sense, right? And water is always good for you. So we're drinking water, no wine, just some hydrogen to oxygen. I think as a child, before you even learn things from school or from your parents giving you lessons, you learn from watching. You look at them and you see how money is being used. You see how money is talked about. You see how money makes people get treated differently, not only just at home, but in public, right? And for me, growing up, money was a really, really, really big deal. And you know, I didn't realize this until I got older. And I would go home and visit my family and just be with some of my family and just realize how much the topic of money would come up. And it would be the determining factor of like 90% of everything. You know those rich people that are always like, oh, money isn't everything. But that's because money, it doesn't have to be everything for you. But for me, I didn't even drink my water. But for me, growing up, money determined if I was gonna eat. Money determined if I was gonna go to school. Money determined you know, who I was staying with. I was juggled around homes growing up. So money was always the most important thing. The most important thing growing up. Like say I got all A's or somebody won a football game. You know, most people, you know, go and celebrate. But the determining factor on if we were able to go celebrate was money, okay? Like, and there's different ways to celebrate. You know, there's gonna be a whole bunch of conversations. You don't need to, you know, go to a restaurant or ball. You can celebrate at home. And while that's understood, it's a little different when you're growing up and you see how everyone else is like celebrating. I actually use that example because I used to play football. And I'm just saying, like, I would see how like after a season, some of my teammates, their families would take them on vacations to relax, or they would go and have a celebratory dinner and they could get anything. Or after games, my cousin, I remember after his football games, my aunt would always take him to McDonald's and they could get anything on the menu. For me, growing up, when I went to McDonald's, we all had $2 or $3 each, and you could get whatever, 3 things off the dollar menu, okay? Because we just didn't have the money for those kind of luxuries. And so when you're growing up and you're seeing how all these other people have different privileges, different access, different opportunities, different ways to live their life because of money, you start to see how you're missing out on so much because you don't have it. So growing up, you know, I realized, you know, some of my friends, they liked steak, they liked lobster. I didn't have lobster until like, well, like in my mind, I probably tasted it here and there. Like, you know, when I share these stories, you will always see, moment of transparency. You'll always see me like, when I talk about my life, I sometimes like backpedal a little bit because I get afraid that some of my family will see it and take it the wrong way. So I want you to know that that's not me questioning myself. That's me also just like, this was my circumstances, but I don't want to blame them. That was a weird caveat, but I'm sure some of you will resonate and relate with that. But I'm just saying this to say that, like growing up, you know, you asked to do something or you asked for something like, oh, can we go and get this? You got that kind of money? Can I get McDonald's? You got McDonald's money? It's like everything related to money. Like even in your house, don't be slamming my doors. You don't pay no bills. You know what I mean? It's like everything is about what I paid for, what I'm doing. And it's because when you look at what money is and what it comes from hard work, right? And when you come from an upbringing where you're working class, like people that are working their butts off all day, every day, I mean 7 a.m. to the dead night later that day, and they come home to not even be able to have those extra luxuries. All they can do is pay their bills. That's why this money is so important, because I spent all day at work and I didn't even get to spend time with my kids, and that's the sacrifice. So this $20 isn't just a piece of paper. This $20 is that day that I couldn't go to my son's graduation, or that day I couldn't go to my daughter, you know, just anything like that. So growing up, money always held this weight that was more than paper. It's not just a piece of paper. This is my life. This is my livelihood. Money is the reason that I was juggled around homes. Money is the reason that, you know, I only had a basket of clothes. I think I told you guys I had a blue basket, and everything I owned fit in that basket at some point in my life because I didn't have more, you know? And so I'm saying all this to say I can go on and on with stories. This is not meant to be like a pity party or anything like that. But I'm really sharing this to say and to show that money growing up for me was everything. And that's why you see every day, you know, those people that wake up and like, how we making money, how we making money, how we hustling. Because where I come from, money was how you had a greater life. And so I always went through the world, always looking for ways to make money, always doing this with my money. And not only just my money, my things. This is my phone. This is my pillow. You know what I mean? Because we know the sacrifice that it took to buy this pillow, to buy this phone. And so we're always guarding, right? But you keep yourself from so much in those mindsets. And it's so interesting because I actually remember the moment where I realized I was poor. I think we were going into a store or something, and I think my dad looking for something or being stressed about something. And I remember asking him for like a candy bar or something just very small, just asking him for something in the store. And I could see he couldn't afford it, but he saw that I wanted it. And then I saw as he got it from me to make me happy, he was trying to hide it from me. I could see the stress. I just realized it. You know, children, we think they don't see, but I saw it, and I think that was the day I realized. I was like, oh, I don't want to stress him out. I don't want to make him feel. I did not expect to get emotional. I didn't want to make him feel bad. So at that point, I remember I was so young. I was like, if I want anything in this world, I gotta go get it myself, and I gotta go make money. I was a kid, and it's like that's the hold that money has. That's the hold that money has on your happiness, on your freedom, on all of that. So it took a lot of work for me to start building a new relationship with money growing up. Because after that, my aunt and uncle took me in when I was 15. And You know, my track coach called me Will Smith in Fresh Prince because my aunt and uncle are upper middle class. My aunt's a pharmacist. My uncle's a business owner. So they lived a completely different life, okay? Even growing up, we could not afford vacations. Our vacations were going to my aunt and uncle's house. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I did not go to Busch Gardens. Like, I didn't go to Six Flags. Like, we could not afford that. It was too many of us. It was too many kids, and they didn't have enough money. We had fun in other ways. We did dirt bike riding. We had fun. I'm not saying I had a horrible childhood, a lot of trauma, but I was happy a lot of times. But I went to my aunt and uncle's house for, vacation, and then at 15, they took me in. So I'm like, oh, wow, they're taking me into this mansion, and, it wasn't a mansion, but to me, it was a mansion to me. I loved their house. I loved their lifestyle. We could go to McDonald's and I could get anything. Yeah. So when they took me in when I was 15, my aunt is actually, I give her so much credit to this day for teaching me how to be smart about money, because before, the way that I was seeing money was just, you got to wake up and get it and get it and get it. Like, you're always chasing it. I was never taught how to keep it and to maintain it. And my aunt was the very first person to teach me how to maintain it. I remember working at my first job, Six Flags, and every time I got paid, I would go and spend it. And then I think after the second check, she stopped letting me do. She was like, why are you spending money? I was like, I worked for it. I can buy shoes. She was like, but Tuh-reek, if you keep spending your money, what's gonna happen when this job is over? It's a seasonal job, right? Do you want money after you finish working? I said, oh. She's like, just because you receive money doesn't mean you need to spend it, okay? And I even still have sentiments of that now, and I think everybody does. We get this big check, that deposit come through, and you're like, oh, girl, let's go shopping, let's go get massages, right? But my aunt was actually the very first person to teach me, just because it's there doesn't mean you need to use it. And it's just like food. Just because it's there doesn't mean you need to eat it. If you're full, don't be greedy. Don't eat. But if you want to indulge yourself, girl, go ahead. But, there's no right or wrong. It's just about balance. And that goes with everything. So, of course, going to my aunt and uncle's house, I thought that they were like gods. I thought they were like top tier, best people because they had money. They had a better life. They had all these luxuries. And that's just how we viewed it where I was coming from. Like, if you got money, you left, you got a better life, you got a better house, you got a better everything. And so the only determining factor, the only thing that differentiated my aunt and my dad was, money. And I'm just saying that this was my mind, it was just like, oh, she has money and she lives a great life, and we don't have money and we don't live the best life. So I was just like, oh, if I get money, I become a better person. I will level up in every single way. It makes me better. That's what makes her better, is that she has money. And I think a lot of people subconsciously do this. We see people with more money. We see that their life is better. We see that all of that better. And we just condition to think that, oh, if I get money, I can be that. And so we go out into the world treating people better because they have money, and treating ourselves worse because we don't have it, and beating ourselves down. And it wasn't until I started to grow older, and the more money that I'm starting to make now, like in my adulthood, I'm starting to realize that at some point I was making a lot of money, but I was still so depressed and I wasn't happy. And I knew it was easy for me to make money. I knew what I needed to do to make money, but even when I got it, I wasn't better. and I wasn't better. I didn't feel better. I just, I had more luxuries. I could do more things, but I was still feeling those emotions from before. How come I have this money, but I don't feel this better thing that I grew up thinking once I had it, I would have this better feeling? And I made a TikTok about this, right? And it went viral because I think so many people resonated with it. But as I started to make more money, I started to spend it on things for validation, like, bags and, wait, I love fashion. So one, I love fashion, I love clothes, I love dress, I love all of that. But I noticed that in a lot of things that I was doing, I was buying it because I thought I had to, because I had money. I was like, oh, I have to get a nicer car. I have to get a bigger place. Oh, let me buy this bag so people know I have money, so that, I don't have to say it. You can see I have money. I have, I have this. Once I was using money for all those things, you get that validation really quick. You get that validation and that sizzles out. Whenever you do something for other people and for validation, or to be, like, I have money. See, look at this. Look at my place. That doesn't last but so long. People come over, they see it, oh, this is nice, they go about their life, and now you're alone, and it sizzles out, right? After getting that validation for a little bit, and I think I needed that. I honestly think that if you come from poverty, if you come from any humble beginnings or where you don't have money, not even just poverty, but if you come from where you didn't have something and you finally get it, you're gonna have a little period where you wanna show everybody like, look y'all, I got it, I worked hard. So it made sense, but I think it took me going through that process of getting that validation and it sizzling out and me still being left with the depression after, for me to realize that, oh, these are not the things that's gonna make me happy. How can I use my money to make me happy? And that was by creating, for me personally, it's different for everyone. It was using my money to create the life I wanted to live. And what that is called is using money as a tool. And we've heard this before, right? Use your money as a tool. Money as a tool is a resource, right? But we see so many people in this world using money as validation. Like, I got money, you got money? Oh, y'all so broke, y'all so this. Using money as a way of like, you know, building me up, when really it's just numbers on an account online. A lot of the money that you have, you've never seen it. And even if you do see it, you put it in this room, if it burns down, it's gone. You know what I mean? Like, but we use it in this world as if it's like, if it's like a determining factor of your personality, or of, you know, people do use it as a determining factor of how hard you worked, because usually if you have a lot of money, you worked really hard, but that's not the case, okay? Look at all these rich millionaires and people that have not lifted a finger because their great-great-great-grandfather did. Okay, we know it's not that, but it's like society continues to keep that up, but it's at some point, just like I had to with my queerness, with my blackness, remove myself from groupthink and remove myself from how everybody else views it. Everybody saw my gayness as a weakness. They saw that as less than. They saw that as bad. I had to remove myself from that and say, no, it's this. And I had to do the same thing with my money. Oh, we going into the methods already. Look at me. I wasn't even ready to get to the methods. But hey, I had to remove my ego. And I had to remove the validation that I was getting from it in order for me to actually see money for what it is, which is, it is a tool. Because with my money, I was able to create the life I wanted to live and to create a life that made me happy. So that's me being able to live in LA because I love nature, I love the beach, I love the weather. Money allows me to be here, okay? Being able to go to the beach whenever I feel sad is because I have money. I don't have to worry about making it every single day and working a job. Being able to take off for 8 months and learn how to screenwrite. I could do that because I was comfortable. I had a savings, I had money, I was making income, and I didn't have to work for someone else. So the money that I had, it was about creating the life that I wanted to live. It's about freedom. It's about being able to do what you want with your time. And so that was me changing my idea of luxury, because I thought luxury was money, bags, cars, you know, private jets, when really luxury is not even about what you think everybody else wants and what everybody else needs to see for you to know that you're happy and you're successful. Luxury is you deciding the life you want to live and being able to live it with no worries and complete comfort. Like, I'm starting to really understand that that is luxury. So bringing it back to, you know, using money as a tool, I want to give a little case study or a little example, right? So say I have $5,000, right, in my account, okay? I could get this bag, right? And this bag is a bag everybody loves, everybody wants it, and I can afford it, I can buy it, right? It's $3,000, whatever, I can get the bag. Or $5,000, whatever, I can get the bag, right? I like the bag, it's cute, I wear it out, I love the bag. You know, I wanted the bag, but I also know other people will, you know, see me with the bag and it's cute. People are like, oh my gosh, I love your bag, or oh my gosh, I wanted that bag, it sold out. You know, so I got the bag, like, ooh, look, I got the bag. But when I come home and I put that bag in a closet, and it doesn't match any of my other outfits for the rest of the week, and I probably don't wear it for another 3 weeks, it's like, yeah, you had that 5 minutes of validation, and you just used all of your money, say it was $5,000, you used all of your money to get that bag, to get that little moment of validation, and now you're still left with like this empty feeling, and you don't feel that luxury or that happiness or that comfort and security that you wish you would have from your money. That's an example of using your money for something that doesn't have a long-lasting effect on your peace, on your mental health, on your happiness, right? So what if I would have took that same $5,000, right, and invested that into my mental health, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, people always complain about how therapists are expensive and how boom, boom, boom this and boom, boom, boom that. If you got $5,000 for that bag, you got $5,000 for a therapist, right? But we don't want to invest that much into our health, right? Because it seems, you know, like, it was like, oh, it's not tangible. But the thing is, it has a way longer effect and a way longer impact on your mental health and your happiness than that bag would, right? I don't know how much therapy is for you or for anybody else, but say your therapy is $150 or $100 or $200 a session, right? That's one session, right? And if you go every week, it adds up. And you could put all of that $5,000 you could be using for your peace and for your happiness instead of using it on an object and a material thing that won't have long-lasting effects. Now, this isn't the same for everybody. Some people are huge bag people and they have collections and they go to their bags every day and it makes them happy. So that is, it still will have that long-lasting peace. There's no right or wrong here. The agenda here is not getting you to be less materialistic. The idea here is for you to spend your money and using it as a tool for you to get to happiness instead of getting something and hoping it will bring you happiness. Instead of expecting happiness to come to you, you can run towards it. You can look at will this contribute to my peace, my security, my comfort, my happiness, and investing into it. It's an investment. And so that's how I started using my money as a tool instead of using it as like, oh, if I get this, I'll look like this. It's just like, writing down, what do I want? And this is really what I would do. What do I want? Like, for example, right now, what do I want? I want to put a lot of time into my podcast. I want to sit down and I want to have a nice studio. I want it to look cute. I am really passionate about my podcast right now, right? And so I also want to go to Cabo. I also do want, I want this Rimowa suitcase luggage set. I love Rimowa suitcase luggage sets. I want that too. And, you know, I could splurge and do everything at once, but that's not smart. You know what? It's just not smart. You know, I had to get past the maintain part of money, right? First, I had to learn how to make it, then maintain, and then now actually grow and to use it as a tool. I feel like that's the third, right? And instead of getting the Rimowa, which would be this much, I'm gonna get that luggage and I haven't even been traveling that much. I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna feel happy, and then it's gonna go in the closet and I'm gonna be like, now what? I'm not that happy. It's because I'm not working on my podcast, right? But if I use that money to invest in the studio and it's helping something that is making me happy every single day, I'm waking up to do this, is making me happy, that's a way of using a tool for your happiness. And so that's how I'm looking at money now. Instead of like putting it into all of these things that won't have long-lasting effects on my peace, I like to use my money as a tool for my happiness to get me into the spaces I want to be in and to live a life that I am at peace. Because my peace is way more important to me now than everything else. And I think that's because I just didn't have peace for a very long time these past 2 years, and it's been a lot of therapy, and that's why I use that example too. Because therapy has helped and it's changed my life. So I don't know if I even said it, but that was the first thing. You have to remove the pride and ego from money and view it exactly for what it is. It is currency, okay? The second thing was I had to pay attention to how I respond and react to money. So when other people talk about money, how I was viewing my money, like I used to look at my accounts every single day and obsess over it. And I would get nervous every time I would swipe my card and realizing that it was giving me a lot of anxiety. So it's understanding that, don't judge it. You see how I just said what it was and I didn't say I want to stop it. This is just what it is. This is how you react to it, okay? Remove the judgment. Don't say, oh, I don't want to be like this. Just pay attention first. Get to know yourself first before you start tearing yourself apart. Like, money makes me anxious. You know, it used to make me anxious. I'm in a way better place now. Oh my gosh. I would check my accounts all day, every day. When I spent, I was comfortable spending, but if I did big purchases, I would get nervous. I'm like, oh, what if I spend all my money? I can't pay my bills. I got to move back with my aunt. You know, like I would get into that and my poverty consciousness would come up. I wouldn't even turn on my heat and I would walk around shivering because I'm like, I need to save money. I need to save money. Tariq, that's going to be like $10 on your bill. It's fine. Like, it's fine. You make a good amount of money, but that poverty consciousness will still come back. And I want to make a video about that too. But I just had to pay attention to how I was viewing money first, because that's how you get to know yourself. And that's also how you get to know your triggers, because how other people talk about it, how people approach money to you. You just learn how you respond, how you react, and the things that make you do that. So getting to know yourself and your relationship with your money. And the third thing is Continuously reminding yourself of the way you want to be instead of pushing yourself to be it. So this goes into creating a new norm for yourself. And the way that you do that is, I think a lot of people think that if you just wake up every day and you push yourself, that it'll just happen. But really what happens is you have to live that new life. So for example, before, right, I realized that when I made purchases, I would go and check my accounts, right? And I would get really nervous and that would make me anxious. In those moments, learning those triggers, I would spend and then I would do that. Okay, it's about, ooh, this is a trigger, I'm spending. And then when I would feel that urge to want to go and check my accounts, I'd be like, Tariq, it's fine. It's fine. I know you scared, you know, you boom, 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 but it's okay. We're going to be fine. We don't need to check our accounts. We are fine. It's affirming myself through that. And so that every single time that I got that anxiety, instead of jumping to my accounts, I would comfort myself and I would show up for myself. And so after a while now, I don't do it anymore. If you want to create a new norm for yourself and have a different relationship with money or with anything, you have to do it. Not just tell yourself, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Show up for yourself and support yourself through it. Like, I get it. You know, it's about being compassionate. Just how you're being compassionate with me, hearing my story and getting it and understanding. Do the same thing for yourself. It's so crazy how we're harder on ourselves than we are other people. And it's so important that you come to yourself, you show a little compassion and grace. I get it. You're a little nervous. You know, you ain't been paid in 2 weeks. You just spent money eating out, but it's okay. We're just not gonna go out to eat for the rest of the week. Let's try to eat at home, okay? You know, like, being supportive, man. Support yourself. That's what supporting yourself looks like, and that's how you create a new norm where you're not beating yourself up, but you're actually supporting yourself, and you'll see that more growth comes out of that than bullying. So that is it for this video. I just wanted to come here to start the conversation about the relationship that you have with money and with luxury and how you view it and how you use money in your life. Through my experiences and through what I've learned. I want to continue this financial series talking about credit cards, different ways, more ways and methods that I've built a better relationship with money, budgeting, all of that, okay? I want to continue this series on my podcast and on my channel. I want to say thank you to Visible again for sponsoring this video. Visible is an amazing phone service. You guys got to check them out. They have been supporting me for years. Please make sure that you click the link in the bio so you can learn more about Visible. And you can get on to the team, okay, and start using their service. I want to thank you guys for supporting me, listening, understanding, and just being amazing. And here's to talking about money more in the future, because it's so important that we have a good relationship with it, so that not only we can treat ourselves better, but we can treat other people better no matter how much they do and don't have. Okay, so love you guys. I thank you. And yeah, see you soon. There we go.